Welcome in this video, and here today I'm going to tell you why hiring a project manager when you have problems with your projects in your small business isn't the only option and may not be actually the best option you have for your business. So let me explain. Many small businesses, and it might be you, reach a point where projects just feel too big to handle alone. No, your business is growing, you have more projects, so it's very hard to handle on your own or your very small team, but at the same time, it's still too small to justify a full-time project manager. And let me tell you that you do not need to choose between doing it all yourself and hiring someone full-time. There are many other options that are available to you when you want to improve project delivery in your small business and when you want your business, as a result, to grow faster. So first, let's see why hiring a full-time project manager often is actually not the best first step you can do. Well, an obvious one is the cost. Well, you will know how much it costs you to have a full-time employee on your book. It costs a lot. So that's definitely something that you need to consider. Then you know that when you hire someone, you need a strong onboarding process, you need training, so that will take again time and resources. So you will have a project manager that may not hit the ground running before, maybe a few months, And then the thing is that when you have a small business, you have fluctuating workloads. You don't do several projects at the same time all the time. So you're stuck with someone full-time who actually doesn't have a full-time job, because there are periods where it is very quiet in terms of projects, and so your project manager in a way has nothing to do, but you keep paying that person. So what are the alternatives to that? And I'm going to look at three kind of different alternatives that you may want to consider in your small business. So first is hiring a consultant in project management. So that is a person with project management expertise who steps in short term in your business, can provide the structure, the organization, can manage a project for you, an especially difficult project, and then leave. Or it could be a consultant, like I do, that actually provide that structure, that organization, the processes and the tools, and then as a legacy will leave you with systems that last and that work for your business. So that's the first option, a consultant. Then you may want to choose to turn to a fractional project manager, which is a project manager who comes into your business but only part-time or on demand when you really have projects on the go and that you need that extra pair of hands to manage the projects. So that's a fractional project manager, and that's something you may not be aware of. You may have heard in small businesses, of fractional finance officer or fractional HR people who come just when needed to sort out your finances, your books, or to sort out your HR related processes that you need to do in your business. So that's the second type of alternatives you may want to look at, which is a fractional project manager. And then if you want a slightly more softer touch, light touch, you may look to turning towards coaching or advisory models. So people who will give you advice, guidance, suggestions, but that will not implement any of that. So someone who will help you find the answers to your project management delivery problems, but that will not help you implementing those answers. So these are the three main types of alternatives that you have: a consultant, fractional project manager, or someone more in a coaching or advisory role on a short-term basis. And so what are the advantages of turning to one of these models instead of hiring a full-time project manager? Well, the first advantage is that you get the expertise. Okay, you get the expertise of these people into your business, but without the long-term commitment. So you get the expertise, but just as long as you need it and when you need it. So that's one thing. Then you've got tailored support, because these people are experts and they will tailor your supports to where your business is at the moment. And these people can help you sustain that growth, because they can follow you up as needed, because business changes. Okay? And as you grow, you change. You will need new processes and things like that. So these people can again come on a regular basis to help you sustain that growth and make sure that you're still able to deliver your projects efficiently wherever your business is at. And the last thing, also, let's be honest, it's about objectivity. When you have someone external, these people are more likely, if I can say, to tell you the truth about your business, okay, than an employee, even if you are very open and you have a very open communication culture in your business. Your employees may have a hard time to say when something is not working and might just try to fit in, if I can say. That when you have someone external, these people will bring a very objective view of your business and will really tell you, well, great, this is working very well, but here, gosh, you've got to do much better because this is not working. So that's the advantages of a flexible model, such as a consultant, fractional project manager, or a coaching advisory person. So then, what are the key differences also between a consultant and an employee in your business? Okay, so first is that a consultant will focus on outcomes. A consultant is here to bring you something new, improvement in your business. Consultant is not on an ongoing role with a job description. It is about outcomes. They come into your business to do something specific. Then, of course, because they have a lot of expertise and maybe more expertise and experience than any project manager you could hire, a consultant or flexible model can help you establish frameworks, train your team, and leave you self-sufficient. And that's exactly what I do, for instance, with businesses. And then a consultant, when the job is done, that's it, their brief is done, they go away. But if needed, you can just, call them and bring them back in when you need, project by project. So again, you have that flexibility you do not have with an employee. And so here, to conclude, I want you to think when you say, okay, yes, I've got a problem with project management here. our projects are not delivered efficiently. We lose a lot of time, a lot of money. People are stressed, they don't really know what to do. We've got no systems in place, and you realize, okay, I need to do something. And so here, remember that the goal is not to hire fast and to solve the problem tomorrow. It's for you to get the right kind of help at the right time. So that's the most important consideration when you choose the way to go about getting project management help. And don't forget that with flexible support, you will stay in control while getting the results you need, because you can get people with the real expertise you need whenever is needed. So this is what I wanted to say to you. If you like it, subscribe, leave a review, leave a comment on the YouTube channel. And also, if you want to do something first and have a few ideas about how you could begin to improve your project management delivery in the small business, well, get my book, Project Power, and you will find the link in the description.